Hardcore mode has immense popularity on the Minecraft part of YouTube. It functions the same as survival mode, but locked on the hardest difficulty, and if the player dies, they can only view their world in spectator mode. They're not allowed to respawn. I started playing Minecraft over 10 years ago. I had played only a little bit of hardcore mode, but in early 2024, I started a new Minecraft world on this notable difficulty. I was aiming to defeat the Ender Dragon and maybe go beyond. But one day, I was on the roof of a bastion, and I wasn't holding shift. I still got a decent way through. I had full diamond armor, a few nice enhancements, and some satisfying builds. Now that my hardcore run is over, I want to talk about a paradox that I was writing about in this video essay before I even lost in this hardcore world. But before explaining the paradox that I stated in the thumbnail, I want to briefly mention the pros and cons of a hardcore world. I think I'll start with the cons since they seem to get more attention. The big deterrence to hardcore mode is the fact you only get one life. This is arguably less intimidating for multiplayer events that last less than 2 weeks, since it's planned from the start to be a limited game duration. But that's not the type of hardcore experience I'm talking about. I'm talking about playing on a single player world that lacks a specified duration. Some players' worlds are months or even years old. Imagine having a Minecraft world crafted with so much attention and then lost in an unexpected moment, maybe even due to a bug or lag. Technically, you can still open the world to LAN, turn cheats on, and use that to get back into a hardcore world, which is how I got to do that reenactment. I'm okay with someone continuing a formerly hardcore world as a regular world, but don't continue to call such future progress hardcore. To genuinely claim to have made further progress in the hardcore experience, such a player would need to start a new Minecraft world. Considering this reality of hardcore mode, I would advise you only build what you're willing to lose. And remember that, because I'm coming back to it later. Another thing I noticed with hardcore mode was that it was slower paced. I remember getting the nether portal frame ready and then just leaving it unlit for some time. I got myself a full set of diamond armor, and even then, I was wondering if I should enhance it. Usually, I would have entered the nether with iron armor, but I think this pace has a bright side to it, since I had more incentive to do a more thorough progression. In a regular survival world, I can comfortably fight the Ender Dragon without diamonds, enhancements, or medicine. It hasn't always been that easy for me, but it still feels underwhelming to be able to fight the main boss of Minecraft with such basic items. I would still prefer to have regular survival be more challenging, but hardcore mode is still appealing with encouraging players to do a more thorough playthrough. Another appeal to hardcore mode is that it makes some features of the game more relevant. For example, I had long found Slowfall to be mediocre. I had still imagined it to have uses, but I didn't find it worth killing phantoms to get. Yeah, it cancels fall damage, but for most players, a water bucket is more practical and has other uses like climbing or stopping yourself from burning. But Slowfall can be more consistent. You can drink a bottle even if you're 100 blocks in the air, or before you even get thrown. For hardcore mode, this extra consistency is worth spending the time to obtain the feature. When trying to cancel fall damage with a water bucket, you need to click within the narrow window of time when you're close enough to the ground to place the water, but also placing it before you land. This makes for a tense moment when you're falling from a lethal height. The risk is easier to take in a regular survival world, but imagine playing hardcore mode. You could have a world weeks or months old, and it would depend on your ability to land a split-second click. And let's hope you don't need to do the stunt multiple times. At the least, this has hardcore players getting slow fall for the dragon fight. I've kind of wondered why in Minecraft many parts of the game are easier than in real life, while for some reason, not dying seems to be harder. I suspect some of that is because dying is less severe. You get to respawn and maybe even recover your gear, and even in hardcore mode, if you die, you don't die in real life. With less penalty to dying, some people might even exploit the respawn feature, being more aggressive than they otherwise would. Although, I still understand why people wouldn't want to play hardcore mode because, again, no respawns. It is a punishing difficulty. But this brings me to talking about the first part of my Minecraft hardcore paradox. No Minecraft world is hardcore. The reason I say this is because even after someone loses a hardcore world, the same human player can start a new hardcore world, taking their experiences with them, and are more capable of making less mistakes. True, the player doesn't start with their previous gear or their builds, but an asset they do carry over is their skills and knowledge. A particular person I think about in this regard is Luke the Notable. For those not familiar, Luke the Notable is a YouTuber famous for making Minecraft hardcore videos. He's done multiple hardcore challenges where he tries to survive 100 in-game days in various places, including regular, super flat, nether, and skulk and old Minecraft. And as of the writing of this video, he has survived at least 4,000 in-game days in his main hardcore world. But his main hardcore world wasn't his first attempt. He previously had multiple hardcore attempts, but he wouldn't even reach day 100. Judging by that, I'd say he learned from his past failures. But considering the human that is controlling the in-game player entity, I also say that every Minecraft world is hardcore, even on peaceful difficulty. If I did continue my hardcore world as a regular world, I wouldn't have stopped that world from ending. I would have only delayed its end. A Minecraft player entity can respawn seconds after receiving fatal damage, but real-world deaths last much longer. Even if you were like Lazarus and came back before the resurrection, this world is still temporary. And with it, so too is every Minecraft world. And remember what I said earlier about hardcore mode. Only build what you're willing to lose.